Good evening, everybody. I will read the instructions for participation to this meeting. To view meeting, click on the link to the City of Seaside YouTube channel. To view or participate in this meeting, use the Zoom application on your smartphone, laptop, tablet, or desktop. Web ID number is 814-0330-1073. To listen or participate by phone, call 669-900-9128. Enter web ID number 814-0330-1073. To make a public comment by email, it has to be sent in by 2 p.m. on the day of the meeting. During the meeting, when chair calls for public comments, members of the public participating in person may approach the podium, and when the chair calls for the public comment. Public participation using the Zoom can speak after raising a hand feature. Zoom application, click the raise hand button on the phone, press number 9 to raise hand and press number 6 to unmute. Public comment is 3 minutes for each participant. Yes. Okay.
So proceed as normal.
Okay.
Not a requirement, it's more of an option that we have, so we will look into it and see.
We deeply apologize for any inconvenience for that. And like our liaison just mentioned, that we will check that out and see what's happening. But thank you for the input. Okay. Call to order and roll call.
Commissioner Alexander,
Here.
Commissioner LaBouffe, Commissioner Costello, Commissioner Oleda Reed, Commissioner Meyer, and Chair Riordan.
Here.
We have a quorum.
If there are any items that arose after the 72-hour posting deadline, this is a point in the meeting where a vote may be taken to add any item to the agenda. It takes a 2/3 majority vote is required. Commissioners have anything to add?
I don't.
No. Commissioner Alexander, you're good? Okay. Well, let's open up to public comment.
Members of the public in the chamber, please approach the podium. Members of the public on Zoom, please use the raise your hand feature or dial *9 if you're wishing to make public comment. Chair, I'm not seeing anybody wishing to make public comment.
All right. Public comment is closed. Number 5, approval of minutes from last month, which was dated May 6th. Did everybody get a chance to look at that?
No.
And see any changes or updates or anything? Commissioners, anybody seen anything? No? No. Let's give you the vote on that.
I move to approve the minutes.
Okay.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Nays? All right, passes. Um, let's go to business items. 6A, discussion on the Community Emergency Response Team CERT program and consider recommendations for staff recommendations.
Chair,
I'll open that up to you, Dennis.
yes, thank you, Chair. I had I had requested this item be put on the agenda. And the reason is because I'm part of the Monterey Peninsula, I guess, CERT team, which is run basically through the Monterey City Fire Department. But it's a community-wide organization with different teams throughout different cities and in the community. So there's a Pacific Grove CERT team, but it's run through the Monterey County, through the Monterey City Fire Department, and they basically fund everything, fund trainings, fund even the box, which I think A and B are they all part of the? Let me ask you right at this point, Chair, is A and B together, or is that a separate item?
Chair, if I may.
Yes,
When it was sent to me, I wasn't clear, so I did make them separate items. Because when I was reading the email, it looked like it was one to discuss the CERT program and the other one to discuss emergency boxes.
yeah, I have to admit, I wasn't for sure either, so that's how I put it.
Well, if I may, I don't know if we'll
Sure.
need to vote, but if I may put them together at this point, because
Yeah.
they are pretty much the same thing.
Well,
So
I'm sorry, let's get into that. Let's change the agenda to combine both items into one. So let's make a motion and a recommendation. We'll go out to public comment and then we will move from there.
So I'll make the motion that we combine items 6A and 6B into one item.
I
A second.
I'm sorry. Nothing.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nays? Pass. Oh, public comment, I'm sorry.
Any public comment on the review of the agenda switch? Seeing no public comment?
It's passed. Public comment is closed. Go forward.
Thank you. So as I was saying, even though the Monterey Peninsula CERT team, that's a community emergency response team, is a community-wide team. It has different subsections throughout the area. There's a Pacific Grove team. There's a Monterey. There's a Pebble Beach team, a Carmel team, Carmel Valley team. There is no Seaside team yet. And I know that we kind of looked at this a while ago, and I was told that at that time that the city couldn't really afford a liaison to establish a team. Well, that would not be a problem anymore, because in fact, the city of Monterey would not want that to happen, because they want to have some, they want to be able to have a team that can respond area wide, such as the Carl's Jr. fire that happened last month. That was a disaster, basically, that pulled fire departments throughout the area and the CERT team members throughout the area to assist with that. As it stands right now, I think I may be the only Seaside resident that has gone through the CERT training. I'm not sure about that, but I know that we don't have a Seaside team that is established that can respond, and therefore we don't have a box that could be placed somewhere in Seaside to respond to disasters of the sort that happened with the Carl's Jr. I think it's important because Seaside is the largest city on the Monterey Peninsula, in the Monterey area. And the northernmost box, supply box right now exists in just off of Fremont Boulevard by the fairgrounds in Monterey. If there were to have something to happen in Seaside Marina, that would be kind of far away to respond. So I bring this up because I was told by the commander of the team, who's the former deputy chief with the Monterey, retired chief with the deputy with the Monterey Fire Department. And he suggested that we go, through, to get a box he would feel more confident if we could go through the city council. So I'm just asking whether or not, we think we could do that, and maybe with the blessing of this commission, because I know that when we talked about this before, and I spoke with Councilman Alexis Garcia, and he was willing to meet. We never did. The request would be much, much less now because we would not need a liaison. We would just need a box and a place to put the box, and with the blessing of the city council. So I'm just bringing this up for maybe conversation tonight, and see how we want to play into this commission, since it would exist in a neighborhood and respond to disasters that would be in neighborhoods. So I think it's important that this commission at least has some say in it.
Can I add to that? In the news, and I'm not sure if you saw it, but Pajaro had the first ever Spanish speaking training for CERT, and they got something like 18 volunteers who are now trained in Pajaro because they had such a disastrous flood. And it was a really successful program. It was all over the news, and we might think about seeing if Seaside can organize a training itself, rather than depending on when the once or twice a year that Monterey has a training. I couldn't go to the last one, and I'd love to go through it. But a Spanish speaking one would be a great idea.
What is in the box?
Supplies that we would need in I can give you a brief without knowing everything, but things such as tape, cones, because what a CERT team is commissioned to do basically in a disaster such as what happened at, that was a perfect example, because that's exactly what we trained for, is to watch traffic, because by watching traffic and putting cones where they need to be, and basically controlling traffic, and we go through the training, that leaves the Monterey or whatever police department on the road to answering calls and whatnot. In that situation, the city of since it was on the border of Pacific Grove and Monterey, they did not have to rely on a single police officer after the initial call out. Once the CERT teams got there, then they basically put us into place, and from there on, we were refreshing the firefighters with an aid station and watching traffic. But the training goes into much more than that. There's a search team for example, people with Alzheimer's. Not a search and rescue, because that's more, through the sheriff's department in the woods and whatnot, but just a search team, an urban search team. We get through that kind of training, first aid training, very valuable experience. I only bring this up and ask for this to be on the agenda simply because, again, we do not have a CERT box, a supply box in Seaside. And if we were to do so, the commander of the team would feel more comfortable if we were to put one in Seaside, that we go through the city council. And I feel that would gather more strength if we did it through a commission. And since it's going to be, since it affects the neighborhoods, I think this would be the appropriate commission.
This is CERT box and all that. Who's in charge of the fire department or the police department?
It actually would be the team, if we can get one going in Seaside, but the filling it with supplies would be through Monterey, since it would be run under the Monterey Fire Department, a centralized department, just having a Seaside team and a Seaside box, which we can then kind of watch over. And hopefully enough people will go through the training that we can have a separate Seaside team to respond, rather than, if something does happen in Seaside, having to rely on CERT members from elsewhere. For me, it just makes sense to have our own team, because we're the largest city on the peninsula.
Question, does Pacific Grove or Marina have a CERT team? Or is Monterey the only CERT team on the peninsula? Not the county.
On the peninsula, yes. And, but I don't know, I want to explain this without confusing anybody. The area-wide, the peninsula-wide, Monterey community-wide team is centralized with the Monterey Fire Department. But then because the CERT members come from all over the peninsula, they have teams established. They've established themselves as a team. So there's a Carmel Valley team, there's a Pebble Beach team, people who've gone through the training. They said, okay, we'll have our own team to watch out, so we can react right away, be the first ones to respond to something that might happen in that area. There is a Monterey one, of course, there's a Pebble Beach one. There is not a Marina one, there's not a Seaside one.
And those CERT teams that are, you named Pebble and Carmel. Those team members derived from that city?
They go through the training that is put on by the Monterey Fire Department.
Yes, but I mean, are those team members residents of?
Yes, for the most part, although they don't have to be. For example, right now I'm on the Northern Monterey team because I live closest to that box, which is off De La Vina near the, that's where the closest box to Seaside is. Even though I live in Seaside, am assigned to that team. For me, that feels a little awkward, being a Seaside resident, especially when, I would respond to, of course, all of us would respond to a disaster there. But, if there was a disaster that happened in Seaside, flood, fire, it would be a named Monterey team that would be the first on scene. So, and again, the way it's been explained to me, we would not have to have a liaison through the fire department or the police department, because the liaison would be is already established through Monterey, through our commander, who is again a retired Monterey deputy chief. And the training is great, and it is sanctioned by
It's FEMA.
by FEMA. Thank you. And it's a nationwide organization, of course, with established training.
To the chair.
Yes.
I just noticed that CERT is on the Seaside Fire website with all the information about it and how to apply for the training. But the last training they have listed was the one in May that's over. So it's already part of the city. It's as far as being an announcement here, and they have a whole explanation on Seaside Fire. I mean, so they know about it. They're into it. It's just, we don't have volunteers.
That's basically it. We don't have volunteers, and we don't have a box existing in Seaside so that we could respond quicker to something in Seaside.
So through the chair, so is this a concern of the Seaside Fire and Police Department that we don't have a CERT team?
I think it should be.
We talked to, when we were doing the smoke alarms, we talked to the chief at that time, and they were all, and to the assistant chief, and they were all for it. They just need volunteers. But we would have to have a lot of involvement to get volunteers. So, but yes, they were interested.
So through the chair, I'm hoping we could put it on the website, that we can make Seaside a little safer. If we were to have a Seaside residents go through the training, so that we can have a Seaside team. And that's really all I think we're asking here, is get a Seaside team. So then we could be supplied with a box, most likely through the city of Monterey.
Just to clarify, you on the city website as well as the fire website?
Yes, I believe if we could put it in any of our cities, city websites would get the word out there. In fact, I'll probably go to a soon coming council meeting and mention that, this is something I think that we should have. And just, if we can get the volunteers, and therefore we can get an established team, and then get a box, that put somewhere centralized in Seaside. Not have to worry about when it's in Monterey for something that might happen You know, with now that we've got CSUMB is, you know, is a huge part of our community and you know, is our residences. So, you know, it's just, I think this is important because we're the largest city.
How many volunteers will we need from the city of Seaside? Do you think?
I know that the Pacific Grove team has about eight or 10. Pebble Beach has a few. They're just getting going. Has only a few right now. Carmel Valley again has about 8. You know, and they have meetings. They have meetings every so often and talk about, you know, just you know, how they do first aid training and things they think are appropriate for their area. So through the chair, I you know, as I mentioned, I'm not asking for a vote. This is just for a conversation. There's not, I don't think there's a vote here tonight, but just a conversation. And you know, maybe I will bring this up with Alexis again and see what he thinks, because he was all into it about a year and a half ago when we were considering actually having a separate, you know, team that was different, you know, had our own liaison. But even the city of Monterey would not like to see that. They want to have, you know, something that we could all respond to, but having different teams within each area.
Well, I think it's a good idea, and bring it up to city council and discuss it with them and see where everybody wants to go with it.
To the
And
chair.
it's-
Oh, sorry. Is there any cost to the city, or is it all FEMA? I mean, and looking forward with FEMA, that might be an issue, but I understand it's all covered by FEMA.
That's correct. And I don't think the only cost there would be to the city if we were to have our own separate team would be, we would have to have a liaison, which would mean overtime hours and whatnot, but that wouldn't be the situation here. Because that disperses, and we don't, you know, you don't want to have disaster responders being dispersed like that. You know, in it was more centralized, right, with, you know, teams that can respond in their areas, but that, you know, but so there shouldn't be a cost to the city. And that's why I asked this to be put on the agenda again tonight, because I know an issue last time, especially when I spoke with our former fire chief, was there was hesitancy because of the cost possible of the city, which shouldn't exist in what I'm proposing here.
Okay. Yeah, I would do what you were talking about and see how things go. Thank you.
Open up public comment.
Public comment?
Members of the public in the chamber, please approach the podium. Members of the public on Zoom, use the raise your hand feature or dial *9.
Hello, Neighborhood Improvement Commission. Linda Cunningham, member of the Homeless Commission. Maybe we're a committee, can't remember, begins with a C. Dyslexic that way. Thank you guys for all you do. I did have a couple of questions. So you already answered, you know, like how many people does it take to have a team to get a box? I wasn't sure when I was reading it, if you were asking for X number of city employees to be CERT trained so we can qualify to get the box, or clearly we want volunteers from the community. And I wondered how big this box was. You know, is there a place, city property? I know that, you know, when you're turning into Costco and the Lavender Brothers are on the one side of the road and there's some ice plant right there, the railroad tracks are there, you know what I'm talking about? So everybody at Del Monte, you're turning in to go to the shopping center where Costco is. That little strip where the ice plant is, the city of Seaside owns that. And that might be a good place to put a box. Just thinking, where would we put this box, having no idea how big this box is. And the one city I didn't hear anybody mention was Sand City, which is also a city, and it's our neighbors, and we could be maybe, I know they don't have a lot of people now, but they are definitely building more housing, it appears, at least for people who don't live here, but maybe there's housing for people who will live here in that building they're building. There's always water for hotels, never water for humans. who want to live here and work here and not have to drive 2 hours. Can't explain that, but that's the situation we're in. But I thought Sand City might be a city we could work with. Maybe we could get enough with them and the city. And I think this is a great idea. And I think if it was possible for me to fit this training into my schedule, I would be one of these volunteers for this training. I'd love to have an evacuation plan. Are we going up the hill? Are we going down the hill? We've all tried to get out of town during rush hour, and to actually get everybody off the peninsula is a frightening thought. And one last thing, because you kept mentioning the size of the city of Seaside. I don't know if you guys saw, the fastest growing city in California under 35,000 is the city of Seaside. Another reason for this, and then maybe the university, maybe there could be a university CERT team where we really work with that university to, and then those kids will go, I call them kids, those young people can go back to where they, wherever they go, and they are already in the CERT program, and maybe they can help spread this and be a part of that where they live, and but be a part of it here, because that's a whole nother part of our city we forget about. Personally, I forget about, but anyways, it is part of our city, and thank you for reminding us. Those are my thoughts. I think this is a great idea. I'm all for it. I might have gone over 3 minutes. If there's a clock, I didn't see it.
Diane Nielsen, you have the floor to unmute and make your public comment. Not done either. You'll have to allow her to talk. Scroll onto her name. Okay, Diane, you should be able to make your public comment now.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, Neighborhood Improvement Commissioners. I'm Diane Nielsen, and I was a part of CERT way back in the early 90s for quite a few years. And I think it's a great organization. Always need more CERT members. And it's the main thing is to be able to take care of yourself in a disaster and then help your neighbors if you can. The question I have is, why is it coming up at the Neighborhood Improvement Commission? I think it's either a fire or the Safety Commission or the Fire Department that should be talking about this. And since I wasn't able to get on until you were partly through the discussion, I'm not sure what the intention is here, but I feel like the Neighborhood Improvement Commission is not the commission that should be approaching this. I mean, if you want to do it on your own, that would be one thing, but it's a safety issue, and we have a safety commission, and we have our fire department that I'm assuming they work with. But those are my thoughts, and I appreciate your answers. Thank you.
Chair, I'm not seeing any other members of the public wishing to make public comment.
Public comment is closed. Any
So-
Commissioners want to?
Sure, if I may,
Yes, sir.
try to clear some things up. First of all, Ms. Cunningham, I just want to talk about the maybe I was unclear. I call it a box. It's more of a trailer. So it's because it's portable. It needs to be transported. So it's a trailer that is your typical, I would say, size-wise, maybe 20 feet by 10 feet, and 10 feet high. So it could fit quite a few things. It's meant to fit medical supplies, cones for blocking traffic, communication radios, things of that nature, for support. I don't know if that clears it, but it's not a box because I was thinking, okay, that's a good question. Box because we have our dumpster day boxes, which those are huge, and it's nothing like that. It's more of a trailer that can be transported. Yes, yes. If we have, if we have a team in the city, which then the city of Monterey says basically, yeah, we'll get one for you as well, kind of thing, because they're the centralized organization. For Diane, yeah, maybe I'm not sure it does belong under NIC. It's just that this is something, on my observations that we don't have in Seaside. I think we should have in Seaside, and I know that when we looked at it more or less some time ago, and we had a council member that would have been behind it, and the commander of the overall team, his name is Demetrius Castros. He's a retired firefighter in Monterey. He would like to see if we were to establish a team in Seaside and therefore, hopefully get a box, that it be done through the city council, simply because then it has some permanence to it, I guess. But you're right. This may not be the commission for it. It's just that, I'm on this commission and this is observation I made. I thought, okay, well, let's at least talk about it and get the word out there. I think the main thing is to get some Seaside citizens going through the training, and they happen at the Monterey Fire Department occasionally, usually a couple times a year. They're usually 3 Saturdays in a row, all day Saturdays, but fantastic training. So, I'd just like to see some Seaside residents go through it so we can establish a Seaside team. Hopefully that clears it up a little bit.
Any other commissioners? No. All right. Let's move on to 6C. Review proposed projects for fiscal year 25-26 and review final recommendations.
All right. Good morning, good evening, Commission. Dan Mewis, Assistant City Manager. So as the commission is aware, we've already gone through this process. We had multiple meetings on the project list, and it has been finalized and approved. But we wanted to kind of one last bite at it right here before it's going to the city council with the work plan in the budget meeting next Tuesday. So if we're looking at this list right now, you can see what we have. We have the tree giveaway program for 10 grand. We have 4 to 6 benches, Eucalyptus Road. Something happened there with the number. It should have been, it's included in there. I think we had 6 benches up on Eucalyptus. The total was 5,000 each. We have the welcome banners in 7 languages, the electronic board on Canyon Del Rey. Oh, this is where it's kind of slid down. So the 10 or the 4,500, that's for the benches. Then we have the 10 welcome banners for 60. So 600. We have the electric bulletin board, City Hall, which was 50,000. Add wheelchair accessibility to benches on general gym. So we have 2 for 2,000 each for 4. More wraps on the electrical boxes, 8,500 for 5. 1 more mural, the location TBD. We have the solar powered bench charging station at one of the parks for 7. The lockers for personal items. We have 2 of those, so 12 total, with the 6 per tower, which will be 2,000. More bike racks, 3 more bike racks for 3,900. Shade. So this one, the unique one here, because this one has already been taken care of. The shade structure at Lincoln Cunningham. I don't know if you've been over there, but there's one installed. So we were able to get that one taken out and put it. Public Works kind of preemptively did it. I think that's a little extra money that we were able to take care of that one. We have the art focused block party, Laguna Grande benches replacement and addition. So we got 10 for 5,000 for 50. the Laguna Grande Grandstand gazebo. So basically, that's more of the shade structures similar to what you would be seeing over at Lincoln Cunningham. So we got 3, and maybe this just gets pulled over. The one that from Lincoln Cunningham, it gets pushed here for 4. So that way you could do 3 on the big one and 1 on the small one. It's just an idea. So that way it stays within there. We got the Canyon Del Rey median landscaping for 25. And we got the signage at the intersection of Light Fighter for the Fort Ord National Monument. So that'll be 10. And so a welcome sign on General Gym between Delray Oaks for 15. And then commission jackets for all commissioners, 6. And the total comes to 297,000. So as the commission is fully aware that the last council meeting, was it the last one or maybe 2 meetings ago, they did approve the amendment to the ordinance to take 15% from the commission allocation. So our numbers we're fluctuating right around right now. That the commission will probably, the initial dollar amount figure was probably right around 400 is kind of what we're looking. We are kind of seeing some of the trending going down a little bit, so maybe right around 380. I still think that even with that 15% that was taken away, we are still within our number. The 297 would still be sufficient to do these projects based off that number is what I'm getting from finance at this moment. So we're still hopeful that we'll be good to go, and these projects that was voted on should pass through the commission. Or through the council. I don't remember how it was. I honestly, because this part has never been done at the council level during the budget cycle. It's always been after the fact. So when I give the presentation to the council for the commission, the good thing is we'll be able to include this right there at that point. So I think that will be a good focus for the council to kind of see everything what the commission is doing now. And then we'll give us some, a good head start to get the project started if approved July 1st.
So the 15% plus the 10%, the admin.
That's not even affected in it. So that has nothing. So what it is let's just say we got a bucket of $1 million. 10% comes off the top for the admin. Whatever's left, then that's what's divided into the 50-50.
Okay.
So you don't have to take the 10% out of whatever else you're getting. If that makes sense.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Okay.
Also, I wanted to bring up, when I spoke with the mayor, when we say that they take something away and it goes back into the general fund, it really doesn't go back in the general fund. It goes back to them to do something with. I was under understanding that went back into the general fund, and that's where the money went, but it really doesn't unless it's at the end of the fiscal year. Then it has.
But the only way the money goes back into the general fund is if money is unspent, right? So like if we don't expend all the money that we had this last, by June 30th for those other projects, that leftover money, what goes into the general fund. So if the council decided that, all right, well, they didn't want to do the $6,000 for the commission jackets, right? That $6,000, then they would decide here to put it towards a project that would be similar to what they're already doing. And, some of those examples that we've seen, right, is that we got the screen at Oldemeyer Center. I think there was some money for the murals. I think they put some more money in for bike racks. There's a lot of things that you've already proposed in some area that the council actually then kind of piggybacked on and dumped more money into. I think there was some extra stuff for Capra Park. You can, so there were some extra things up there that, I don't know if you've been up to Capra now, it's looking pretty good. We got the drinking fountain, we got the barbecue, we got the picnic tables, we got some new signage up there. So there's a lot of other things that are neighborhood improvement things that the council has been picking.
Thank you, Mr. Mewa. So if I'm getting this correctly, 15% of the approximate 400,000 would bring it down to about 340. So we should be well within.
Yeah.
Within that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for example too, so, and I kind of, I took the liberty of kind of in the spirit of the neighborhood and improvement commission. So Monty in Public Works, he called me the other day and he said, "Hey Dan, we got a little extra money left from the allocation that you guys did last time for some of the picnic benches at Lincoln Cunningham." And he's like, "Hey, I want to get some more." I was like, "Let's do that. Let's continue off what they're doing. Let's get some more picnic benches and let's put them in other parks." So one of the things we also decided to do too is add another picnic bench or another bench on General Gym, but on another block. Right. So we're looking at going further down the road, but taking some of that leftover money so it doesn't get dumped back in the general fund because we have it left over, still building off some of these other projects that were already approved, like just this similar scope and just adding one or two more just to make sure that we are able to continue to use that money.
To the chair. I might have just blocked it out in my memory, but I didn't think that we voted in the jackets for the commissioners. We did.
We did.
We did, because that's not going to be approved. That's just,
No, it's not. Gonna be.
I would,
I mean, so we
I'm not
can.
sure if we can re-vote on anything, but
I think this is the time now, right? I mean, even though I did already submit this, however, it hasn't been necessarily published yet for the budget meeting. So we can make a change and I can update it. So if the commission wants to make some changes right now, we can definitely do that. So one last final, that's why I said like a final bite, if we will.
well, before we vote on that, there's one more that I know that might be questioned, if we can, and that's the art. I want to sell the art block party somehow, because immediately that will be, it's not brick and mortar. And yet it would be, it was a great suggestion. It's a wonderful thing. So I'm wondering if there's a way, maybe we could sell that.
I believe actually the art block party is in the Art and History Commission's work plan.
They suggested that.
I think it's in their commission work plan in their funding as well. So they did recommend it. I think they did it
It's a great thing. I
As
just
a-
want to sell it.
as a potential just in case this commission didn't. So
So they have it in there.
I am 90% sure it is in theirs.
They do. They said that. So will that help?
No, I mean, right now, if the commission wanted to vote and say, you know what, we'll take out the block party and we'll take out the commission jackets. I mean, that's 11 grand that you can decide on something else you want to, put in there. I mean, and you, like I said, you may even have a little bit more money. However, we probably should be a little mindful just in case the TOT revenue comes in less than what was projected. So that way we're not over what was actually allocated, right? Because then we're going to have to come back and cut somewhere else. But I think we, for the most part, I think I mean, an extra 11, I think if you brought that anywhere up to 300, 310 at the most, we should be okay.
Yes.
So if we eliminated those two ones that Ms. Costello mentioned.
Just to clarify, I didn't want to eliminate it.
Oh.
That wasn't no, I just want to sell it, but well, so
Oh.
that it's not just dismissed as not brick and mortar.
The jackets?
The jackets I do want to
The
dismiss.
But the block party I understood. It's already
You
done.
speak into your mic, Ramona. I just want to make sure that it's on.
But the Art and History Commission, granted, they recommended it, but isn't it in their monies, right?
I believe it is, yes.
Oh,
They're doing it.
but we're asking for money here.
So if we do eliminate those two, can those monies be tagged on to other projects that we estimated? Or did the staff already check out?
I think we're pretty good. I think with the costs, I think we're pretty on point. The only thing that really we didn't play into account was any of the tariffs, if any of the items coming in. And I think that's kind of up in the air. We really just don't know. However, I think that there is room to add a little bit more, or if there's something else that the commission, is thinking of.
So, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, there was one discussion of the plaques was brought up, and also I'll go back to the jackets.
Uh-huh.
I'm speaking, how can I say it? Can't think of it. But anyway, I was told if we just did it for our commission,
It doesn't need to be in here.
Yeah, because we
Yeah,
have
our money.
$3,000
Yes.
discretionary spending that we can get the jacket.
Correct.
So we really don't need to do that. And that's why I would like to see the plaques go up.
And I believe, I thought we talked about the plaques just being included in the projects
Yeah.
in general, so it wasn't necessarily a line item. But I mean, it wouldn't hurt to just allocate, just to be safe, to put, $2,000 just for acknowledgement plaques, right? For certain projects, right? We're obviously not gonna be putting a plaque on every bike rack we put in there, like was discussed. But those bigger projects, for example, then maybe the mural or the tennis courts, right? The things that we did, the commission did that recommended were big, kind of improvement projects.
Yes.
Mescal Neal Park is in dire need of a playground equipment. They are in dire need. There's a swing set has 2 swings older than the hills. And I think we should give some monies to FOSPA. I don't know how that works. FOSPA or FOSPA for McNeil Mescal Park. They put in a recommendation. I think we just kind of overlooked it. When FOSSA gave their presentation, we didn't even talk about it that Saturday.
If I may,
Yeah.
Yes.
I do recall when we discussed that, because the land, the way that Mescal Neal is landscaped, right? Because it's on the hill, any type of amenity that we put in there, a new playground, we would have to do the ADA accessibility, which will be costly. I don't think if we allocated the entire pot of money to Mescal Neal, we would even be close to what we could potentially do there.
Mr. Mullis, can't we look at the 2 swings that are already on that bottom lot that needs to be done? I mean, are you saying there's equipment already there?
Correct.
2 swings. Does that mean, okay, now you're going to put something new in there, so therefore I'm going to ADA?
Correct. So we could, so it may be similar if you think about, well, that's kind of like if you highly notice, right? Because it was 2 separate ones, we didn't have to necessarily do the bottom because we had ADA accessibility at the top. We need ADA accessibility at some point in the park when we do a renovation. So while if we just focused on the bottom down there, we would be able to do something, but then we would have to make an ADA accessible path. We would have to put in a parking spot as well. So those are kind of the things that we need to look at. And so, I mean, I can't give you a ballpark on what that would cost, but it was definitely upwards of $100,000.
To the chair?
Yes.
I thought we had a set amount that we gave to FOSPA each year, and I thought we decided on that again this year. So am I remembering that wrong? Because we always give FOSPA just that amount that they can.
So if you remember from the last budget cycle, that was something that the council did take away
They did.
because council already gives FOSPA
Okay,
money within the budget.
that's right. Well, I would like to make a motion to remove the jackets from this list. And if we want jackets, it's our commission responsibility for it because it's just not a good ask on this list. I think it'll just make people angry. And also we would need it for all the commissions. All the commissions should get jackets then, and that we didn't budget for that. So I'd like to make a motion to that effect, remove it from this list.
I'd like to, through the chair,
Go ahead.
I'd like to add to that, though, the block party, since the Art and Commission already has the money to do that.
We sure they have the money to do that? 'Cause
I can check real quick if you want to, have some discussion and then go up to public comment and I can look into it, and see if I can find some of that
I
money.
didn't understand that they knew that they wanted it. Great.
Are we open for discussion or can we do that?
Dennis, I mean,
On that motion and on the second or,
So the motion is
Because-
still open. because
right,
if
so we
you
can't really get
wanted
into
to
other
add-
things unless we take that.
So we need to wait.
On that motion, yes.
On this motion.
Right.
Even though we don't have a second for
That's
my
right.
motion.
Yeah. A second.
If you don't have a second, then that motion dies, and then there could be a new motion to include it.
So can we do them one by one?
Sure.
Just take
We
my
can do
motion.
one.
Is there a second for the motion that to just remove the jackets?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye,
aye.
Wait,
just the
Oh,
jackets.
open
Just-
to
I would,
public comment.
we should go into public comment first before we do motions to remove anything. So that way we can get any input prior to that.
Oh, yeah.
Open to public comment.
Members of the,
The jackets
Just the,
to be removed.
members of the public in the chamber, please approach the podium. Members of the public on Zoom, use the raise your hand feature or dial *9.
Hi, Linda Cunningham, member of the Homeless Committee. I guess I'm speaking as a citizen. I agree with it being a really bad look to spend $6,000 on jackets. My committee has begged for a few $1,000s to feed people. And you got 6,000 extra bucks to buy jackets? Not a good look. Not a good look. I'm trying to calm down from that because as you can tell, it really hurts that our committee gets nothing. And we're trying to help people who, in many cases, just want to get their lives together. And they're just hungry. So yes, I support getting that off your list. I also have to say, thank you for supporting what we asked for. I was actually surprised how inexpensive benches with solar power to charge phones and tablets are. I would actually like to see the city of Seaside never buy a bench ever again that does not have charging ports. I don't understand what century you're living in. Wouldn't it be nice to be at the park with your kids and charge your phone? Wouldn't it be nice if you're from out of town and you need a charging station or you're at the park in Seaside and look, I can sit on the bench and charge my phone or I can use the Wi-Fi. Our bench, the company we looked at, there is an option for Wi-Fi extender. So your recommendation was the park here next to the library. I think that's a great recommendation. There's no bench, there's no picnic table there. We could get, for, I think it was $175, we could get a Wi-Fi extender on there and kids could sit in the park and do their homework off the city's Wi-Fi here. They're not, look at this beautiful bench. Look at this beautiful bench. Look at this beautiful bench. I'll pass this around. This is a $4,700 solar bench. Look how beautiful that is. Look at this simple bench. It's just a normal park bench. This is a charging station.
We're only talking about
Okay.
jackets.
Sorry.
Right,
Please.
I'm sorry.
Anyhow, again, I would like to see every park bench in Seaside from now on be one that charges. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Diane Nielsen, you're free to make a public comment.
Thank you again. I was wondering if there's a possibility that you could, are you saying there's an additional $6,000 plus two, like $8,000? Was that what I heard? Do you know?
No,
No.
no, there was an additional, if we eliminated the 6,000.
Again, no conversation.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, sorry. Anyhow, if there is 6,000 or 2,000, whichever it is, can you not add to something that you already have that you're recommending? Like another 1 or 2 dumpsters when you do your community cleanups, because my understanding is they get quite full. And maybe you could use a couple more of those during those cleanups. Those are very successful. Also, if there is the ongoing Lincoln Cunningham you could add an additional piece of equipment. Something that you are, some project that you already have that you could enhance even more. That's my suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I just want to confirm I did get confirmation from the Art and History Commission that the block party is in their work plan and in their budget.
So, so we don't need to vote on, or we do need to vote on that.
Yes.
So, I'll make another motion to eliminate the block party. And can we make sure that we give the reasons for this? For example, the jackets? No, I'm just gonna make a motion to remove the art block party because the art commission is doing it.
We already did the jackets. We did it before.
Done.
We preemptively did that one.
We preemptively voted.
Why don't we, let's make it cleaner. Let's start over.
Motion to remove both the jackets and the block party. We're gonna vote on them together, because,
Let's.
Right.
Let's make just make a new motion and start over. Yeah.
so does it, do they have to be separate?
It depends on what you want the motion to be.
I want the motion to be both of them together, the art block party and the jackets, to remove them from our list.
I'll second that motion to remove both the jackets and the art block party from this work plan.
We haven't asked for a vote yet, so.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nays? Majority rules? Yays.
My record shows that the motion passed 4-1. And I also want for the record to state that Commissioner LeBouf showed up at approximately 5:40.
To the chair.
Yes.
So that brings us down to approximately 286,000 and well enough below what we were just.
No.
I think that brings us down. We saw 11,000, so that will bring us to. Can you pull that slide up again, Jennifer? I think it will be 286 now.
Yes.
286.
Scroll to the bottom.
So to clarify, then you're telling us that we have approximately 20,000,
That's a fair estimate.
306.
Yeah, I think that should be within what the allocation should be.
So we can open it up to discussion.
Well, then, to the chair, if I may, I'm just going to throw it out there. Since we have a little bit the extra that we might want to add to it, I would still like to see a morning where we could invite all of the nonprofit organizations that exist in the area to show their wares, so to speak, to the citizens of Seaside. And I want to back this up with something. We just recently not had I don't know how long ago recently, but a open house at the fire department, and the Red Cross got a long list of people who didn't know about our smoke alarm installation. So this tells me that there's a lot of things that our citizens don't know that nonprofits can provide, such as Meals on Wheels. Again, the city of Seaside, the largest population on the peninsula, has a smaller number of routes than the city of Marina with Meals on Wheels. I think our citizens are not aware of all the services that are provided by the 501c3s out there. I know this is not brick and mortar, but it could improve the livelihoods of a lot of our citizens. So we talked about this at our, back in January at our, retreats, and we had it on the list. And then when we went through the final list, was taken off. So I'd like to see, now we have this extra money. I'd like to see us maybe at least talk about it again.
Anybody else?
Yes,
Yes.
please. I would love to just let the city council know that we've taken a few things off the list, and we would like that extra money to be spent by staff in parks. I mean, not to shut down your idea, but just that would be an easy way for us to give some leeway in which, it could just be parks, or it could just be more bike racks, but it could just be extra. I'm not even sure what, but just to say that that sum of money we would like to see go to the most important project that staff falls short on. A park project, and make the whole thing be brick and mortar and save yours for next year. Because it would take a lot of planning, and I'm not sure who would, that would be a parks planning thing, and to do that open house. I don't know. I just think it might be nice to say we'd like maybe 2 tree giveaways, or maybe extra $10,000 for the parks that need it most, up to the discretion of the staff.
Other commissioners? Oh, sorry.
I agree with you. That would take some planning, because it would be contacting, which I'd be happy to do, contacting the 501c3s, getting them. So it would, if time is of the essence here, that it would take some time. So I understand what you're saying, and I think it's a good idea.
Chair, if I may?
Yes.
And just, I want to kind of touch on what Commissioner Alexander is talking about. The Family and Community Support Program actually hosted a community resource fair. 2 weeks ago. So I think that's on the same lens as what you are trying to, accomplish here. And I want to say they had 30 plus, booths out there, tables, if not more. So I think that could be something that the commission, right? If this is something that you're passionate about, you could partner with them, right? And then you can kind of help work with that. So we've already have that piece in play. So it's already there. We just need to fine tune it a little bit to make sure we get the word out a little bit more. But I don't want to duplicate services that we're already doing. I think that in this case, that could throw a new lens into it, because at one point, I think this is the 4th year that they've done it. And I think the 2nd or 3rd year they partnered with PD and fire, but both of them backed out. So now it was just really, the family and community support program. So I think that there's room that your involvement could help with that.
The other commissioners? No.
Nothing.
I love about the upgraded benches to keep lower benches to charge out and divine benches. Thought I both lower benches. I can't remember. It's on the previous thing.
Well, my suggestion concerning benches is to put more benches up on General Gym. We have 4 up there now, and we put 1 more there, but there's 8 miles of freeway there, and a lot of nice. People are walking one end, other people are walking another end. I think there's more benches needed up there, which would be nice. I will not go with the solar benches. I think it will cause more problems than we suspect when they are vandalized. The cost factor right there will be unbelievable.
It's just like the bus benches that they're not vandalized.
Sure they are. See the carvings on them, see all that kind of stuff on them. The bench that we're buying is going to be placed here at the police department, correct? That's solar.
We're going to look right here, over here at Stephen F. Ross Park.
told
Mhm.
that the solar bench up in General Jim's, I think, just ask. Because the benches just get torn up. From what I see.
We did talk about this one being a test. We talked about doing,
Hmm.
and if it works out, doing more in the future. So I think that was our intention and that was a good thing to stick to.
I'll put down here pictures on General Jim.
One other thing, there was, I think we're 10,000 less than our additions because of the shade structure.
Oh, yeah.
So that's
Hmm.
So now we're up to 30.
I went up to Lincoln Cunningham and, how is that shade structure offering any shade?
Well, like we discussed, we can't, it's more of a pergola, kind of like Roberts Lake, right? It's the slats.
Can't you put some more slats this way? Can you add on to it? Because it's just,
Potentially, but it's one of those attractive nuisances that we were trying to stay away from, right? It's going to be enough shade to keep you out of the sun, but not enough shade to make for, yes.
because I mean, not to negate Lincoln Cunningham, I'm glad all that work was done, but it is a lot of concrete. So Foster really we have to really go in there and beautify it. Yeah,
So is there any
trees,
other,
good idea. I think we are gonna have trees.
want me to open up to public comment?
We did public comment.
I'm
We
sorry,
already did public
I
comment.
already did public comment. So we want to vote on these or
Can you read them off again?
first one is the nonprofits projects, but that's nullified. Okay,
Six.
give the money back to the staff to spend in the parks, et cetera, bike racks, things like that. Or a suggestion for more benches up on General.
And I think that if the commission does decide to leave a pocket of money for overages, well, not necessarily. I think if it's there for projects that, let's just say, for example, the medians on Canyon Del Rey come in a little more expensive. Right? If we have that knowledge and we make sure that the council understands that, I think that we should be okay. I mean, I can't speak for them, but it would be more of, let's say it's $30,000 contingency for any projects that may need a little extra support.
That's exactly what I was thinking
Me
and couldn't
too.
express it.
My
Yeah,
my
any
thing is
overages.
leaving it up to the staff, then they can do whatever they want to with it.
But,
And I
Not
think we're gonna want more benches in the future. So why not go for it now? We have the money. It's a good project. Put the benches up in General Gym, then we're done with General Gym.
Through the
it-
chair,
Yes,
but remember when they got rid of our idea of putting a sign at Canyon Del Rey, and I think it's back up there, Canyon Del Rey and General Gym. They said that it was too much money, so they scrapped it. It was approved, but they said, oh, it didn't work, it's too much money. And I think Mr. Muse is alluding that there's gonna be projects that might have overages, and I don't want them to scrap anything because it's $8,000 more for the medium at Canyon Del Rey or the sign at Canyon Del Rey, and I don't know about that one now. Sitting at Canyon Del Rey and General Gym, because they're putting that new bike path and the bridge going over there, so they're gonna really want, maybe that'll be part of their.
but see, our sign actually, and it's interesting, if you drive up Canyon or General Gym from Canyon Del Rey, you can see the transition from Del Rey Oaks to Seaside, and it starts where the trees stop, right? So there's trees on the median, and then it just goes to flat.
Oh.
So really the seaside sign would probably be right there after those trees, if you will, right? And then so it wouldn't even be near Canyon Del Rey.
That's, so it's gonna go where those trees begin.
Correct.
Get past, that turn into Ryan Ranch, past that even.
Yes. It's as you start to go up the hill a little bit.
Yeah,
And
The hill be-
huh?
Yeah.
Kind of, yes. And there is an actual like welcome to Seaside City Limit sign on the right side up the road a little bit. And I think when we discussed this, the dollar amount that we came up with that sign, we were thinking of something similar to the sign that's on Broadway where it says welcome to downtown, right? Like it's nothing too large. It's, it fits and we go something with that kind of style. And then I think that kind of meets the purpose.
Shouldn't these numbers given to us pretty close?
They are.
They're right there.
They are. However, like I said, we don't know what things are going to be in, a few months when we place orders.
So
It's,
give a hiccup and so right now we have $36,000 to play with. So we knock $6,000 off and leave that float. And the rest or $11,000 or whatever we want to do, but the rest we spend on benches up and if the big hiccup is $36,000, if it's that much over.
and honestly,
Right?
while I think what Commissioner Costello was getting at is a good idea, I think my recommendation would be to put the money somewhere. Put it in a project.
project.
Put it into something.
How many more benches?
I mean, look, it could
We
take,
walked it, and here is some great sites.
Yeah.
Up along there, and some people have complained all the benches are at that one point and not down at the other end, down by Hillby or down coming up that hill. Because people are walking up there, should be resting and things like that. And so that's where some of the benches, and then in the middle there, also it can face the other way.
but think of this too, though. I mean, you could look at, that, what are some things that we know the council is into that they like, right? Murals. You do another mural, that cuts half of it off right there, right? And I think we could find a location for another mural somewhere. And that would be, positive as we look to try and increase public art.
Made a comment, the benches up there,
What was his ideas?
according to him.
Sorry.
No, and I was just trying to give you some ideas there, right? And I think even too, the Laguna Grande stuff, maybe if you just put some more money in there, because that the Laguna Grande, the grandstands, the gazebo, and the benches there, just to really kind of like
Showcase it more.
that is, I think, when you think about a signature piece of like a rental, a park rental that is getting, not only is it beautiful for the community, but it is also a revenue generator. So,
Like that?
huh?
Yeah.
That's what Laguna Grande.
So that, I mean, that's something too, right? Like if we really want to enhance something, that right there, I think would be somewhere to just, let's put some money into it. Let's really see what we can do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
I think that's a great idea. Throw some money at that too. I totally disagree with throwing money back to the staff at their discretion.
I love the staff.
No.
I love the staff.
Well, I do too, but the problem is then we don't get what we need to get.
And I just want to, if there's money already assigned to projects, that makes it easier.
So,
I've got a couple of numbers here, if you
Okay.
want these. So an extra 5,000 or possibly 10,000 for Laguna Grande. And we don't need to add to, it's for gazebos and benches. Oh, except we would have to add benches in there. It just.
So because we have, I think there's two. Can you scroll
Here
down?
it is,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's two right there.
Sorry.
There's some for park benches And then there's some for the grandstand gazebo.
So 5,000 there, 2 more benches
Or
would be 8,000 at general gym.
Yeah.
And a couple more bike stands, because we need bike stands at every park. And they're, you know, the bike stands are pretty easy and everybody loves them. Or alternatively, one mural. Oh, actually, a mural would work with these. We'd still be around, and a mural.
well,
We don't know the where yet. It would just be a proposal for,
We would need to identify a city building.
and we have them identified. Addition, building.
But not, you don't necessarily need to do that now.
We have a list of them that you came up with, or someone came up with.
And it-
Spots we could put them, we just.
You'll find a spot.
I mean, we can come back, right? And, maybe that's something that the Art and History Commission can, like, hey, we have money for 2 murals. What are the locations you propose? And then that's, you're soliciting that input and you're working that collaboration with another commission.
So Joan, what's the total?
So I've got 4,000 for general gym benches. I have 1,300 for bike racks. A mural for 15. So that gives us 15 is 32. That's enough right there. So that's a mural. A couple more bike racks. No, one more bike rack.
where are we gonna put the bike racks? I know they're beautiful and they're subject of art. But where? And I know it's again,
We
they-
identified all of the spots and we only picked 2. So there, we wanted them in each park. FOSPA had a list of where they wanted them. At least Patty told me that. So I don't know exactly where. Prettier ones at Oldemeyer would be lovely. But we did have them all laid out, but we could skip that one anyway, whatever you think. I'm just adding on some of the things that would be easy to add on.
They could put one along the street on Fremont where the kids lay all their bikes down in that sidewalk.
Mhm.
Along the sidewalk. Anybody want to make a motion?
Through the chair, I think,
Yes,
I don't.
I'm sorry.
I don't agree with 10 here, 2 here, 5 here, 3 there. I think we should just get one big thing. And I don't know what it is, but something for Laguna Grande to enhance Laguna Grande. Like said, it's a park that you pay a fee to go to. You got 2 empty lots there. And, huh? What? A water fountain?
Fountain, like a fountain.
A drinking fountain.
No, a fountain,
Water feature.
a water feature, a riparian feature.
There's 2 empty lots there.
Yeah.
There's one technically.
Because of the water conservation. I think we should, my opinion is, we get these little things done and next year's budget, we come along and we do some big projects. Or do we do one big project or we look at it differently for next year?
Well, I think, through the chair.
Yeah.
I think these little ones like this now, since we're looking just to, spend a little bit of money we have here are easy, yeses on the votes of the council. So I think we go with that now. And that's still within what we're looking at, 30,000 that we still have to play with. 36, okay. It falls within that. So, I like that.
I just want to, excuse me,
Yes.
I want to revisit this. Seriously, my husband works in stuff. He's a stuff. But what about like recycled water? I mean, why can't that be used? Yeah, yeah, that's what a water feature or using recycled water, using the purple pipes and all that stuff.
I've never seen that done in a park because of kids being in the park and drinking.
No,
It's
not,
a closed if you notice recycled water is in purple pipes,
right?
then you don't see it out in the open. It is not for drinking.
No.
Yeah.
No,
So animals, and things like that.
no, but it's a something to it. It's an attraction not to be played in. I mean, it would be up. It's kind of like the one at Del Monte. Nobody plays in it. We look at it and we photograph it and we kind of like gather around it to drink our coffee and talk, you know, but we don't play in it. We toss pennies in it.
Yeah, we can vote on it.
I mean, it's an idea. I mean, it's that one feature to attract to that one thing that's a park. I don't know.
I would love to see a volleyball court there, but the Monterey side has one already. It's used 8 hours a day. Every time I walk by there, there's gangs of people playing and having fun, enjoying.
See, those are
But it's
big
big, I know it's
projects
big time, but
for next year. I mean, a water fountain.
I don't know,
mean,
but
the
I don't
last
know if
time
they
I
would use the
priced one
seaside side.
was $50,000 to
I don't know why we get that
$100,000.
Highland notice.
They're not cheap.
Okay.
I mean, I don't mean to shoot anything down. It's just when you know the prices, it's very expensive. You do it.
It was just an idea, riparian feature at the park. I mean, it's an idea, it's an attraction, it's a feature. You go to the park, you see water, you see geese, you see, you know, people playing, walking. I mean, it's just another attraction that brings you out to the park to calm you down, to get you into your Zen moment.
But there's already a water feature there, pond. Lagoon.
But also,
Yeah, something like that, like they have it at El Estero. Like, right,
well,
like they
for
have
our
it El
next year's
Estero.
budget, maybe you can look in to see if we can turn on the water faucet, a feature like that in the state of California with all the water issues that we have. And if we can use recycled water.
Okay, I think we should just
Oh,
do the
well-
benches and. What was the other thing?
Okay, you redid the numbers.
So if we did.
Okay,
No,
No, it costs a lot more than that, doesn't it?
benches are $4,500 each. That includes the installation, the cement.
everything.
So that's,
Oh, I'm looking at the wheelchair accessibility.
Yeah, that's just the pad that.
Yeah.
Sorry, trying to scroll down, Jennifer. It's up at the top.
so 2 benches.
2 benches would be 9.
9,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, another mural, 2,000,
Mhm.
and then 10,000 to add on.
But wait. How is Mr. Muse gonna present that? How do we want him to present that? $10,000 for upgrades to,
All we're doing is we're adding it to the cost.
Added to that, what there.
no?
So just scroll
Where's
down.
the,
This is just
adding that,
add-ons.
okay.
So.
If it needs be, needed
Where
be,
it says
okay.
Laguna Grande,
Gotcha.
bench replate or the Grand
Yeah.
Tank gazebo.
Yeah.
We would add 10 grand there and I would just make it 10.
Okay, I
So it's
understand.
3 for 40. what we
Yeah.
do.
I
That
thought it
gets
was-
a little extra.
So it's to that project.
Yeah.
Okay,
So, Chair, I'd like to make a motion, if we're ready.
Sure.
I'll make a motion that the extra that we're talking about here, the 9,000, which is for 2 benches, or 2, yes, benches,
General Gym.
general gym, 15,000 for a mural. And sorry, what's the last 10,000 for?
Laguna Grande.
Laguna Grande. Be submitted with this proposal as it stands. And that's my motion.
I second.
Everybody that's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nays? It passes.
Motion carries unanimously.
Carry.
Good job.
Yep.
Pretty good job. Yeah, I think we have a good chance of getting everything. I really do.
yeah.
And then back to the jackets, I just need to say, we have that $3,000 in every budget that we could get jackets. I think advertising for commissioners is a need, especially when we're doing projects out there. I really do. And jackets are keep covered. Yeah, and we can do that on with our $3,000. Very simple. All right, let's go to next one is D, discussion on potential projects for 26-27 recommendation.
Got that on your email. Future project.
Future projects. This
To me, that would be.
Yeah. kind of threw it out there so that we could start thinking. So it was,
Just think.
yeah. And I think we should start discussing it so we all start thinking about projects. So we can do this again next budget because this is so much simpler, I think. I mean, I think, and I think the council will appreciate it too, not that last minute kind of thing. So that's why I threw it out there. So if you don't have anything, start thinking it. And our next meeting, we can start discussing it. I know it's ways off, but hey, it sneaks up on us with holidays and all that kind of stuff.
Through the chair.
Yes.
I don't have anything at this time. We're way early, but one thing that I'm really passionate about is that we use this, being that we're the stewards of this fund, is that I always thought that part of its purpose, and if it's not, I wish it were at that purpose, is to help us work with other commissions. You know, because I've been involved, you know, in with this commission many years ago, then, you know, in the city council, then back with this. So I've been involved in some aspect with the city for a long time, and commissions have never worked together. They were always sort of like, I like to use the term siloed, and they were. This helps us come out of that. So I just like to see us find ways with this to work with other commissions as much as possible. And, you know, for some commissions that doesn't necessarily is not necessarily going to be easy for them with the parameters within, you know, with the city council. I think likes to see this fall, but I'd like to put it out there early for other commissions to start thinking about, because I like to work with them. You know, we were all in this city, you know, for the overall purpose of making the city better. And that's what we're here for. So, you know, I just like to say that, you know, I'd like to have them start thinking about what they'd like to bring before us. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? No? I have a grand idea. I got to participate in this years ago, and that was a citywide picnic. And it was a humdinger. You had so many people but also vendors show up for it. And it was fun. And it was something different. And we have the space to do it at, and you could have it Laguna Seca, or Laguna Grande or whatever, or pick a place. But it would be fun. And I think a lot of people would show up and enjoy it. That's where I'm going. I know it's not brick and mortar, but when it comes to getting communication and bringing people together and working with the city, it could be fun. I mean, I'll give you a good example. They had a little backhoe where people got up there and they tried to drop this football in this little hole, and they won a prize. And kids loved it. I mean, it was just fun things like that. So we come up with some ideas. So something out of the box, because we're going to run out of benches, murals, things like that. You can't put in sidewalks. And so got to start thinking of other things.
So through the chair, if I
Yes.
may, kind of what you're saying is we're going to run out of brick and mortar things too.
We're going to run out brick and mortars. And once that happens, we can start doing some other things. So that's all I have to say. Anybody else? Open to the public.
Members of the public in the chamber, please approach the podium. Members of the public on Zoom, use the raise your hand feature.
Linda Cunningham, homeless commissioner, speaking as a citizen of Seaside. What I've first written down was to your point about, my commission struggles too. Like for the first time in years, or more than 3 people. I'm not even sure if the business commission can even meet because they don't have a quorum, because they had 2 people. They couldn't even meet as a commission. So I thought maybe per your point about, hey, how can we get people, like we just had a big event. I don't know how many people showed up. I was out of town, so I didn't make it to Derek's event. But when they had at the Oldemeyer Center, there was way more vendors than there were people from Seaside. So I thought, what if there was a newsletter that came out from the commissions, all the commissions, just telling us to the Seasides what we're doing 4 times a year. I don't know how much it costs to mail a newsletter, but like an actual piece of paper, physical, not on your phone I thought that might be an interesting thing that we could try to do. All the commissions could, submit a little, this is what we're working on. Maybe people would say, hey, I could be a part of this. And it would draw people to what we're doing into meetings. I also feel that Lincoln Cunningham, look, it's looking better than it has in a long time, but it really needs trees. Desperately needs trees. And I thought, we have a beautiful cypress tree here. We just worked on the cypress tree that has been there by Jose's all this time, never really realized we had it. Now it's got beautiful lights on it there, the Welcome to Broadway downtown. I don't know how big cypress tree you can put in, but I think we should put at least one big damn cypress tree up in the park to have a beautiful cypress tree. I mean, they're beautiful trees, but they're also slow growing. That would be something I would love to see money spent on. And we have a beautiful opportunity for a gorgeous linear park. Look, the benches up there are nice, but they're just not pretty. Even the thing to keep people from falling off, I mean, it's nice, but maybe it's safe. I'm not even sure. I think a child could crawl right off of it. I wish they were pretty. So when people drove by, they said, oh, look how beautiful that looks. I mean, we have a beautiful linear park up there with a beautiful boardwalk. And look at the Redwood Sky Park. I can't remember what it's called, up where my sister lives in Eureka. It is so beautiful. They get thousands of people that come to the Redwood Skywalk because as you're walking up, the forest is falling away. You end up 200 feet above the forest. They have different kinds of crossways. We don't have big redwood trees, but I think it could just be the most beautiful park on the peninsula. That linear park, well, I think he said 7 miles or however long. I mean, there is so much opportunity there, but and if you're looking for big money project, I mean, there are just, the High Line in New York is big. Now they're working on a fjord there where they're going to put a park all along the Hudson River. These linear parks are popular. My personal thing, I would love to see, like when you go to the Santa Cruz and you ride on the thing overhead, where, the sky ride. I want a sky ride. Why can't we have a sky ride up there? Zip lines, whatever. There's a million things that could happen in that park up there. It could be so much better. And if you're looking for big money, and again, I think every bench should be a charging station.
Thank you.
Anyone online? Chair, I don't see anyone else online.
Public comment is closed. Further discussion? Anybody? Nope. Reports from commissioners. Commissioners, any reports?
I have one.
Yes.
I have a couple. VOSPA is having their crawl on Saturday, June 22nd. So it'll be an invitation to go through all of our parks, the 11 parks that we're working on. And they'll offer different opportunities. There's going to be a grand prize, if you will, for people that visit all 11 or 7, whatever we decide on. So it should go in the bulletin too. Didn't go out in the weekly.
I think someone sent it to me and I did.
They
I
did.
think Jeannie sent it, so I sent it over
Yeah.
to Dominique.
So I urge all of the commissioners to attend that June 22nd. And oh,
And where
is that
will
June
be?
22nd? Yeah. Which park?
Which park?
Oh, it's gonna start at Havana Solis or Lincoln Cunningham.
Oh.
Yeah. Each park, you don't have to start anywhere. You can start at Highland Otis. You can start at the park that's near you, Durant Park. Yeah. Yeah. You could actually walk. It's a good walk, actually, too. It is. Yeah, there you go. And Pachetti Dog Park is celebrating their 10th anniversary on Saturday, June 27th, 28th. So I urge all of you to come. That's from 11 to 1. We're just gonna have a cake and a little presentation, very low key. We're gonna give bandanas out to all the dogs. If you bring your dog, it's gonna be a bandana with Pagetti Dog Park listed on it. Little treats. And as a side note, since Ms. Cunningham was talking about trees, FOSBA does have it in line to put in a line of trees at Lincoln Cunningham on that pathway there. I'm just waiting for October planting season. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Just two things. We are getting more requests, or at least the Red Cross is getting more requests for smoke alarms to be put in. Since this commission did adopt this to work, is this being one of our annual projects? A few years ago, we did. They're coming in now on appointment base rather than on Saturday. Although we will have that sometime soon. But they're coming in, so I'll just put the word out there if anybody wants to, help me. I did one today. But since I can do it alone, but if I'll always put it out there, if you're able to join in with me, then be great. I'd love to have you as soon as I can establish it with the resident at what time. And the second thing is that if anyone is available on Thursday, that's only 2 days from now, from 6 to 8 at the Sunset Center in Carmel. There's sort of a meet and greet for a new nonprofit organization that is starting in Monterey County, and I'm on the board of, and that's called the Family Justice Center. And the whole idea is to pull services into one centralized location that normally victims of domestic abuse would need. As it stands right now, a person who is a victim has to go to one area of the county, another area of the county, someplace else. And these services are not centralized. That's the whole point of this new. It is a very good idea, yes. And the chair of the organization is the district attorney. And the reason I'm bringing this up with you is because the first center will be in Salinas, where all the government buildings are. But hopefully someday in the future, we want to have another center in Seaside. The sooner the better. And, and this is for anybody out there, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock on Thursday. It's just sort of a education process, see what it's all about. There'll be some wine, a little bit, things to snack on, but at the Sunset Center in Carmel. Thank you.
Well, it costs millions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Um,
What you do.
I have one thing to bring up, and that is it's my turn to do the House of the Month for June and July. I will be doing that this Saturday, and getting pictures from my phone or from my wife's phone, just who's working, because I won't be around for the next week and a half. So I'll get that done on Saturday, get that out. Last minute. And I've heard just good things about us. You ask your neighbors and they start to notice things. They're starting to notice things finally that NIC's doing things. So keep talking us up. I mean, whatever we're doing something right, I think so. Yeah, and I think we should have more dumpsters. We need to take that in consideration for our next budget. I really do, because it's not, but we get more budgets, more dumpsters, we'll need more staff to help us, but we can find that. People love to volunteer for that stuff, so. So, any reports from the staff?
Just two, maybe three quick things. Using my recreation hat. Recreation registration for summer is it's been open for a while. So if you're interested in doing new programming, we got all kinds of classes and activities from now through the fall. On the public works side, you'll be happy to see some little new addition on one of the Seaside signs as you come into Seaside on Fremont, across from the dispensary next to Burger King. You'll notice if you drive at night, they put lights out there. So now there's lights
Saw that.
that can go on to
Yeah.
the Seaside sign. So that was just something that Public Works just preemptively did on their own. They were able to pull some power. And they're looking actually on doing something similar. You know, we have the solar power lights in front of the sign on Canyon Del Rey. They think they may be able to pull power from somewhere and get rid of the solar and then do that there.
Nice.
They're still researching some options for the lighting on the palm trees. So we're looking at that to figure out how we can get them a little bit brighter. And then finally, I just want to, remind the commission to share the word and just get people out to the farmers market on Thursdays that, we're getting into the summer months. It's a good time to get out there, friends and family. There's a lot of good opportunities, entertainment, things like that. The couple of weeks ago, they actually had a beer and wine garden. That's something they're going to be looking at doing. I want to say once a month or quarterly. They're still looking at doing that. So they're going to really start to kind of build and kind of get some new activities out there. So please just try and get out there and visit the local farmers market.
Our next meeting is July 1st at 5 p.m. And if anybody cannot make it, please contact Jennifer. #1 contact.
That part of the weekend? I mean, it's
Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Yeah.
So will staff be?
So yes, it's actually the day before I go on vacation.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, really.
My wife's birthday is actually on the 4th of July.
Wow.
Never taken it off.
Oh, yeah, 'cause it's a busy.
Now
week
that's
for
on
Matt.
record now.
Yeah.
I finally decided to take it off. I've been trying to.
All for adjournment?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All right, everybody in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sorry, those jackets from-
No, I agree with you. Hey, I voted no on it. I voted no on it the first time around when they announced it.